Alright, let's take a look at the first day with the Growatt SPF 6000T DVM. So here's the website. You gotta add the data logger here. I think when you connect the data logger to the server, it just checks into the server with a serial number and check code. So you just add the device into your dashboard. And then from here you have a few things. Switch the theme. Kinda like the blue one better. Easier to see. Here's the current state. So, it's afternoon now, so not much solar. And that's providing power to the house. And then today only 2.2 kilowatts. But I think I want to go back and let's review the first day it was installed. It was installed on the 24th, and then so for the night we had it, I left it charging the batteries up. So that's what this blue imported from grid is. Let me close the other two graphs. So I guess this blue is to show that you're charging the battery from the grid. So imported from the grid. This is 20 amps. This was 30 amps, 20 amps, 15, and back to, I think this was 18 amps. It's pretty good at, you could just change it from the app or from this web app here. And then so I had it set to, so I manually turned it off at 6. The reason for that is I have a time of use plan, which at 6 o'clock it starts getting more expensive. So I'm trying to charge at 20 yen per kilowatt hour, and then use it during the day and solar to supplement that. So so charge at night, start producing at 6. You should see it, so you'll see it in the load consumption. So this is how much the rest of the house is using throughout the day. Take that off. And then we have solar here. It's kind of cool, you can just do solar. You can see the solar production throughout the day. And then this is an odd time for my location because I have a giant utility pole here which blocks off the panels, but I have no other place to mount my panels, so this is what we'll have to do. So so this is why the weird curve here. And then around 10, 11, then it starts clearing up, and I think right around this point, like 12 o'clock, I'm getting full sun. But it is winter, so it should be more in the summer, I'm hoping. And then starts dropping off around 2, 3 o'clock. And then tails off, basically gone at 5 o'clock. So around 5 o'clock we're only at 8 watts and 0. So this, I'm not sure why they don't put it here, but I kind of want to see the amount that's produced by the batteries, but they don't have that here on this graph. There is this other graph which you can share with others. I think it's a public site, which I will share in the description. But Yeah, on this one then you see the discharge, so this is how much the battery is producing the load. So basically solar, well, solar plus discharge is the load consumption, and if it's more, if we make more solar than the load, then that gets charged to the battery. I think this is where it, yeah, then it starts counting it as a charge. So solar, we charged 5.3 kilowatts on that day, on the 25th, and from the grid we took in 0.4. I'm guessing that's here. Not sure how I count that because I was charging all throughout the night, so that should be a good, let's see, 15 per hour, so 6 hours, so 9 kilowatts here. So I'm guessing they only counted here. So discharge, it's a 9.3. That's how much was used on that day. And this is blank. I'm not sure why. It's always blank. This is today, which is 28th, but I'm just going back to review the 25th. Alright, so let's go back to the 25th. What else can we see? So this is 7:30. I'm probably turning on the microwave. And this big chunk here is the AC, which we run in the morning. What else can we see here? For battery, this is how much it was discharged on that day. You can see, so installed on 25th. It was a little low, and then started to be more consistent here. About 11 kilowatts per day. So this is the device, and then if you go to settings, this is where you can actually change all the settings that's on the device itself. It's actually pretty good. As soon as you change it here, it's reflected in the inverter right away. I've done it on the app right in front of the device, so you could see it just change in real time. There are a few settings that's not applicable. It's like the start time. These time settings are, I guess, is not available on the SPF 6000T. So these are just, even if you set it, it says successful. There, yeah, it doesn't really set anything. And in terms of these are actually named differently than what's on the manual and on the device. So slightly different. There are a few options that are only on here but not on the device. But if you set it to that, it's actually, it just sets it to one of the available ones. So it's gonna, I'll have to go back and map that out. Yeah, so in my case, I just go in here around 10 o'clock, set it to battery priority, which is same as SBU, and it will just start, it'll just take over. So instead of going through the grid, it will just go, it'll produce power from the batteries and solar. And then same thing at night. Once you get around 10 o'clock, I set this over to utility priority, which then switches over to utility. Again, the goal is to not pay this higher price here. So at 10 o'clock, we'll switch it over and start charging the battery up. through the night, and then again around 6 start using the battery so we don't use the more expensive electricity from the grid. Yep. That's pretty much it. I think solar pulls off. So I think what I saw was there's a setting for the output to be based on the solar output right here, AC output source, so PV priority. So once you set to PV priority, it starts using the battery as soon as it detects solar is available. And this was actually pretty good because it detects solar starts around 6:15 here, so it kind of lines up to the time I need. But solar does, we do stop, we lose production at around 5:30, so that ends a little early, but we'll have to find another way to automate it so it turns off at 10 instead of 5:30 when the solar goes out. But anyways, after that I set it to PV priority, so the next day it just turns on automatically around 6:15. Oh, right here. Oh, so I don't have to manually do it. And that's it.